How many times have you witnessed something that seemed profoundly unjust and felt the urge to intervene, only to move on, hesitant to get involved? Injustice surrounds us, and the way we respond to it speaks volumes about our character and intentions. Often, we fail to act due to haste, fear, or the belief that the issue isn't ours to solve. But Jesus, when faced with injustice, teaches us a different path, a serene compassion that compels us to act. The parable of the Good Samaritan is one of the most profound examples Jesus left us on how to respond to the suffering of others, especially in situations of injustice. In this story, Jesus speaks of a man who is robbed and brutally assaulted while traveling along a deserted and dangerous road, left for dead. The man's situation seemed desperate and hopeless. Then, two respected figures of that time's religious society pass by, a priest and a Levite. These two individuals, who held positions of authority and respect within the community, upon seeing the injured man, simply detoured and continued on their way, completely ignoring the dire situation of someone in need of rescue. For them, it was easier to keep their distance and move on without risking getting involved. Perhaps these two men thought the man was already dead, or that the situation was too dangerous for them. Maybe helping seemed too inconvenient at that moment. This behavior reflects a tendency prevalent in our society. Often, we prefer not to get involved in others' problems, justifying this omission with the notion that it's not our responsibility, or that it's better not to take risks. But then, a third character enters the story, an unexpected one, a Samaritan. At that time, Samaritans were despised by Jews, regarded as impure and inferior. It would be unlikely, in the eyes of those hearing this parable, for a Samaritan to stop to help a Jew. However, he is the one who sees the man by the roadside, injured and vulnerable, and decides to act. This Samaritan was moved by a calmness that allowed him to see the situation with compassion. He didn't let haste, fear, or the risk of being delayed dominate him. Instead, he stopped, interrupted his own journey, and decided to help. This shows us that true calm is not a stance of indifference, but a conscious decision to see others and care for them. The Samaritan not only stopped to provide immediate assistance, but cared for the man using his own resources. He used oil and wine to clean the wounds, placed the man on his animal, and took him to an inn so he could recover. The Samaritan didn't merely offer help in the moment, but ensured that the man would have the necessary support to heal. His calm and compassion went beyond the minimum expected, demonstrating genuine and profound love for his neighbor. By deciding to care for the man, the Samaritan reveals that true calm, in the face of injustice or suffering, is not passive. He could have avoided the situation, continued on his way, and left the injured man there without looking back. But his choice to act turned that moment into an opportunity to demonstrate mercy and compassion. This parable challenges our tendency to ignore the difficulties of others. In our daily lives, how often are we pressured to move forward without looking to the side? We live in a world that often encourages us to prioritize our own needs and interests above others. However, the example of Jesus, through the Samaritan's attitude, calls us to stop and act in favor of those in need, with love and calm. Jesus' question at the end of the story is an invitation to reflect on who truly is the neighbor in our lives. Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? Luke 10:36. The answer seems obvious, but the impact is profound. Jesus teaches us that true compassion and genuine help do not depend on social status, beliefs, or religion. They stem from an inner disposition to see others with mercy. This lesson from Jesus goes far beyond a story about the Good Samaritan. It's a call for each of us to act with compassion even when it's inconvenient. Jesus shows us that true calm is not merely about finding peace for ourselves, but about being agents of that peace in the lives of those around us. When the Samaritan saw the injured man, he didn't view him as a burden or a problem to be avoided. He saw him as someone deserving of care. And by making that decision, he exemplifies the type of calm Jesus teaches us, a calm driven by compassion that is unshaken by circumstances. The Samaritan could have continued on his way, focusing on his own needs, but he chose compassion. He turned that moment of indifference into an opportunity to practice love. In doing so, he shows us that in the face of injustice and suffering, we can be moved by a calmness that goes beyond our own comfort. In the context of our daily lives, the Samaritan's calmness is a choice of faith. By stopping to help, he demonstrated that he was willing to act on behalf of another, regardless of the consequences for himself. He teaches us that calm is an active choice, a response reflecting the love Jesus taught us. True calm is an attitude of love. It gives us the strength to see others as human beings worthy of care. It is not a fleeting feeling, but a decision to act with compassion, even when it means going beyond the expected. By doing so, we follow Christ's example, who showed us that true calm is a commitment to love. The Samaritan reminds us that peace and compassion walk hand in hand. If this message brought you a new perspective on the transformative power of compassion and active calm, as Jesus teaches us, know that we're just beginning. Like this video to let us know we're on the right path. This is the third episode of a special 6-part series where we explore how Jesus' serenity in the face of challenges can inspire and strengthen us to face our own difficulties. If there's a specific theme about Jesus you'd like to see, share it in the comments. And to continue following these teachings and learning how to apply them in your life, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive updates on the upcoming episodes. This way, you won't miss any content in this series. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode of this journey of faith and calm.